With different population sizes, the tasks of modernization are different. So are the levels of difficulty and complexity. Therefore, each modernization process has its own development path and promotion methods. China is working to achieve modernization for more than 1.4 billion people, more than the combined population of all developed countries today. It is a task of unparalleled difficulty and complexity. And the country has done a good job in realizing common prosperity for all. Let's take a look at China's achievements in poverty alleviation. By the end of 2020, the final 98.99 million impoverished rural residents in China had all been lifted out of poverty, and all 832 impoverished counties and 128,000 villages had been removed from the poverty list. During its poverty alleviation practices, China has developed a set of standards and procedures to accurately identify the poor, the causes of their poverty, and their needs. For instance, poor households are identified primarily based on their incomes, but other factors including housing, education, and health are also considered. For villages, consideration is given to the incidence of poverty, the per capita net income of the residents, and the income from businesses run by village collectives. The strategy of targeted poverty alleviation is China's strongest weapon in its final battle against poverty and a major innovation in its theory and practice of poverty reduction. After declaring the eradication of absolute poverty in early 2021, China has pledged to consolidate poverty alleviation achievements to prevent a mass return to poverty. Last year, the central government allocated 156.1 billion yuan in subsidies to promote rural revitalization. Now let's dig into China's efforts to advance rural revitalization. From the development of saline alkaline land to the construction of high-standard farmland, China continues to consolidate the foundation of food security. By the end of 2022, China built a total of 1 billion mu of high-standard farmland. In 2023, 45 million mu will be built and 35 million mu will be upgraded. In recent years, various localities have focused on revitalizing industries according to local conditions, cultivating and developing new rural industries and new formats. By the end of 2022, 40 industrial clusters with distinctive features and 50 national modern agricultural industrial parks were built, along with 200 strong agricultural towns. Since 2014, China has witnessed rapid development in rural e-commerce, driven by the country's increased support for the sector. By the end of last year, China's rural internet users exceeded 300 million, and online retail sales in rural areas surged from 180 billion yuan in 2014 to 2.17 trillion yuan in 2022. E-commerce has brought farmers closer to the market and promoted entrepreneurship and employment in rural areas. China has drawn the roadmap for advancing rural revitalization. For a revitalized countryside, no large-scale return to poverty is the bottom line. The country will strive to ensure that more than 60% of central government subsidies for rural revitalization are used to develop local industries, and there will be stable employment for more than 30 million people. To achieve a beautiful and harmonious countryside, China vowed solid work on improving the rural living environment and enhancing rural infrastructure in critical areas such as roads, water supply systems, and power grids, as well as reinforcing the security of rural housing. Public facilities and services will be improved with a focus on epidemic prevention, old age care, education, and healthcare so that farmers can enjoy a modern lifestyle in rural areas. Right now, China is advancing Chinese modernization with support from high-quality development, not only for itself, but also for global growth. China's rapid economic recovery and high-quality development around the world have brought certainty to the world economy and provided pivotal support. Against the background of the sluggish recovery of the world economy and the slowdown of the global trade and investment, China is actively expanding high-level opening up, actively promoting the optimization of trade structure and strengthening economic and trade exchanges with countries around the world on the basis of mutual benefit and win-win results. In the first half of this year, China's total import and export of goods increased by 2.1% year-on-year, and the proportion of general trade imports and exports with high added value rose to 65.5%. And the total imports and exports to ASEAN, Latin America, and Africa increased by 5.4%, 7%, and 10.5% respectively. Domestically, the country's final consumption expenditure contributed more than 70% of the economic growth in the first half of 2023. Investment in high-tech industries increased by 12.5%. The 2023 World Investment Report, released by the UN Conference on Trade and Development, shows that, in contrast to the decline in total global foreign direct investment, China's foreign direct investment in 2022 increased by 5%, reaching a record of $189.1 billion. This means that China will continue to provide investors from all over the world with a broad space for cooperation in the present and even in the future. So far, China has built the world's largest education system, social security system, and medical and healthcare system. A total of 130 million new urban jobs have been created. Nearly 1.1 billion people have been covered by basic pension insurance, and 1.36 billion people have been covered by basic medical insurance. People have gained an increasing sense of happiness and security. The ultimate goal of modernization is people's free and well-rounded development. It seems ambitious, but it's also simple. Chinese modernization is people-centered modernization. So having all Chinese people live in a better life is the ultimate goal for the country to strive for.